Flirting with the Beast by Jane Porter. A woman expecting to spend the holidays alone finds warmth in the iciest man she knows, in this steamy and charming later-in-life romance by New York Times bestselling author Jane Porter. It's been 5 years since Adina McDermott lost her husband, and she's finally started to feel like herself again, ready to live fully. She's even started dating again. But when her holiday plans with her stepson and his fiancée fall through, she refuses to spend another Christmas alone, while everyone is celebrating with their families. Impulsively, she decides to go up to the cabin in Lake Arrowhead, a place she used to love to visit, but hasn't gone in years, not since the feud started between her husband and their nearest neighbor. Andine starts to rethink her decision when being alone at the cabin proves to be more challenging than she expects. A heavy snowstorm hits the area, and Andine finds herself trapped there with no one to help except for her neighbor, Wolf Enders, a military veteran who lives full-time on Lake Arrowhead. Wolf is as grumpy and intimidating as Adina remembers, but he's also unexpectedly kind and uncomfortably sexy. His presence reminds Adina that she may be older, but her body still works perfectly fine. Thank you very much. Can a good girl tame this sexy beast of a man, and will the snowy fling turn into a love of a lifetime? Flirting with 50 by Jane Porter. A sexy and sparkling later-in-life contemporary romance about a woman who leaps out of her comfort zone and takes a chance on love by New York Times bestselling author Jane Porter. Paige Newsome is finally at a place in her life where she's comfortable. She loves her job as a college professor in Southern Carolina. She lives close enough to her mother to visit regularly, and she has 3 daughters who are flourishing in their own careers. Paige has no plans to upend her life again since her divorce 8 years ago, but she's about to embark on a new adventure, co-teaching a course that includes a 3-week international field study. Paige can think of a dozen reasons why she shouldn't go. One being a dazzling Australian biologist who will be teaching alongside her. Professor Jack King is charismatic, a seasoned traveler, and more like Indiana Jones than Indiana Jones, all of which unsettles Paige, who prides herself on being immune to any man's charm. She isn't looking for love, and it turns out neither is he. But as the 2 co-professors lead the rigorous program together, first on campus and then the beautiful Tanzania, their biggest challenge will be working together closely, resisting the undeniable chemistry they feel when they are with each other. The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. A deal with a demon doll. Rare Rose might have a name out of a storybook, but she's learned at a very young age that no prince was coming to save her. She'll have to save herself. Unfortunately, even that is an impossible task in her current situation, trapped in a terrifying marriage to a dangerous man. Desperate times call for desperate measures, which is how she finds herself making a deal with a demon. Freedom from her husband in return for 7 years of service. She expects the service to be backbreaking and harsh. She doesn't expect to be put on an auction block in a room full of literal monsters and sold to the highest bidder, to Soul, a dragon. He might seem kinder than his fearsome looks imply, but she knows better than to trust the way he wants to take care of her, or how invested he is in her pleasure. In her experience, if someone seems too good to be true, it certainly is. Falling for Soul is out of the question. She's suffered enough, and she has no intention on staying in this realm, even if she leaves her heart behind when she returns to her normal life. Come True, a bomb-ass teeny romance by Brittany Quinn. Recent college graduate Dolly Jones has spent the last year stubbornly trying to atone for a mistake that cost her everything. She doesn't go out, she doesn't make new friends, and she sure as hell doesn't treat herself to things she hasn't earned. But when her most recent thrift store purchase proves home to a hot magic genie determined to draw out her darkest desires in exchange for a taste of her soul, Dolly's restraint and patience will be put to the test. Newbie genie Velasril Hollander will do anything to beat his older half-brother in a soul-collecting contest that will determine the next heir to their family's estate, even if it means coaxing desires out of the least palatable humans he's ever contacted. As a dinge from a polluted bloodline, Velas knows what it's like to work twice as hard as everyone else, and he won't let anyone, not even Dolly fucking Jones, stand in the way of his birthright. He just needs to figure out her heart's greatest desire before his asshole brother can get to her first. Come True, a bomb-ass genie romance is the romantic fantasy second coming-of-age story of 2 flawed 20-somethings from the different realms battling their inner demons and each other one wish at a time. Love and Other Sins by Amelia Aries. Mina's life is going according to plan. She's acing AP Calculus and is perfectly content with her non-existent social life. Though only a high school junior, Mina knows time is an investment and she's putting all her capital into academics. Oliver, a child abuse survivor who grew up in the foster care system, is ready to burn down his old life and start from scratch, complete with a new name and emancipation papers in LA. When the two are thrown together through circumstances and develop an unexpected connection, they discover how hard it is to keep the past in the past. Love and Other Sins